A father's life matters. This story came up on my feed, and I'm going to be honest with you. This only just proves my point that a father's life matters. Because let's be really realistic here. Kids are going to get sick. Kids are going to get injured. And these things are going to happen when we are not in the presence of our children. Because they are children. They are still learning how to navigate within society without their parents' supervision over them all the time. The simple fact that this is a mother who's an OnlyFans model, and you're going to see the toxicity of this mother when it comes to her talking not only about her child, but her male child. Check this out.
I am so pissy today. Just downright today. I had to come up here. At 7 o'clock in the afternoon. That's prime time. That's prime time. If you know what I mean.
I really do think it's time for custody orders to be changed, for most custody to be placed in the hands of the father. We have seen what the last 20, 30, and 40 years of mothers having full custody of the children. We have seen what these children who are living with toxic mothers, we've seen the results of that. 70%, over 70% of the inmates in prison are coming from single mother homes. We've seen how in a toxic environment of a child, the results of it. This is fully straight on a toxic mother complaining that her ill child is stopping her from having her Let's continue on with this toxic behavior from her, shall we?
Listen. So that's partly why I'm cranky, but I'm cranky because my child is 10. I had to come up to the school and I had to pick him up. Why? Why did I have to up? I had to pick this kid up because he's a man, okay?
He's a boy. And at the rate that you're going as a mother, he's not going to be able to cross manhood if his father ain't around instructing him and showing him that the way how he's being talked about on the internet is toxic for him to transition from boys to men.
He's a little man and he's got a weak ass stomach. Most men do.
As a father, I could see already this woman has been very broken by a Chad, a Tyrone, or by some man that she was chasing. She's broken because she has this image in her head that men have a weak stomach, she has this I hate men attitude. But you're an OnlyFans model who is profiting off men watching you. Make that make sense, please. Let's get back to the clip. Fair use, fair use.
So somebody busted ass in the library. He threw up not one time, not two times, but 3 times in the library. Literally, the nurse calls and she's like, "You're gonna have to come pick up your son because he just vomited 3 times in the library, like exorcist style, all over the place." Why? I'm sick. Some kid farted next to him and he said that it made his stomach feel bad. So I have to interrupt my day because some kid's got a rank asshole? That's a new kind of skip block. What? That's some...
A mother's love back in my days, I'm Generation X, was ain't no mountain tall enough. Ain't no river great enough. Ain't no highway long enough to keep her from reaching her baby. If her baby is sick, she will shut her day down. If her baby is ill, she will immediately leave the job, risk getting fired. That's called a mother's love. What happened to the mother's love? And why are these children placed in the care of a mother who clearly doesn't love their kid, who clearly went on the internet to show us that she does not love her kid. There is nothing in her rant here that says, I love my child. None of it. And these are going to be the boys that are supposed to be the next leaders, that's supposed to be the next men of the next generation coming up. Now, as a father, watching this, I know my life matters to my children. My life, my confidence, my work ethic, everything matters to them. I literally say to myself, the rest of my life, it's over between their mother and I. We decided that. So I have to focus my life at building, educating, giving my kids the skills, the financial resources to help them navigate through this society, because the sons of women like this are who my children are going to have to be working with, who my children are going to have to deal with. The toxicity that these children are receiving from their mothers is going to be sprayed out there into the world. It's going to spray it out there into the world, and I have to show my kids the difference between the positive that I'm teaching them and showing them the negative that other children are showing them, and the negative situation that those kids are in and how it's going to negatively affect them going forward. When it's time for them to go apply for jobs, when it's time for them to start a business, when it's time for them to say, hey, listen, I want to either be a father or a mother, when it's time for them to say, okay, what's the next stage in life? I'm finished high school. Where do I go from here? A father's life matters, because you won't really see any videos like this where a guy is saying to himself, oh, I'm a male stripper and I was making $1,000 spitting on a pole here, and I'm so pissed off that my child was sick that I had to put my clothes on and drive all the way to school to pick up my child. Men aren't doing this. They're not. If they love their children, they're not doing this. If they don't love their children, then they're going to say, I'm a little bit too busy clapping cheeks over here, so I can't pick up my child. Those are toxic pieces of garbage, pieces of human doo-doo fathers. Which means this is the female equivalence of that. A father's life matters, and I really hope the father sees this video of hers and says, you know what? It's time to get full custody. My son's in a horrible condition. He's in a horrible position. He's not going to learn. I heard from this podcaster, and he basically said something very key. He said, after the age of 8, there isn't really much the mother of a boy can really teach him. There isn't really much, because this is when he needs to be leaving his mother and more leaning towards the knowledge of his father. I already see this with my son, which I know that he's at the age where I know I'm going to have to get full custody of my son, because I could see he's asking questions that his mother has no answers how to deal with. She'll call me every now and then saying, oh, you're going to have to deal with your son. I said, I know this already. Whatever issues he has, he always calls me. He always talks to me. He always lets me know, Dad, can I spend an extra time with you? And I'm like, sure, let me change my work schedule. It's no problem for me, son. A father's life matters, and fathers, you need to, it may be toxic, it may be difficult, but you need to try your utmost best to spend as much time in your children's lives, especially if they're under the age of 13. The father's life matters. Is this what you want to raise your child? I know I wouldn't.